got rid of Prowl, didn't we, for him? Because Woltech had Prowl.
Yeah. You don't get the sense that they've seen you yet.
Okay. Uh, so they're pretty much locked in combat, though. Their gaze is not towards me. They're more obsessed with each other, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is the portal still open or is it completely shut behind me?
It is open.
Could I possibly get as low as I possibly can, moving as quietly as I possibly can, try to maneuver myself close to Pilgrim, and uh, uh, lift her up lightly over my shoulder?
Yes, actually. Um, you are able to maneuver with just a couple of steps over to a position right next to her. And as you begin to kneel down to collect her, you see that the monk has moved over next to her as well. You notice that the field that you noticed before seems to be incredibly active right now. In fact, it's so profound that the field itself is almost imperceptible because it's so strong. You realize as you step closer to her that as you look around you, not just at her form, but around you, that it's almost like you're in a giant sphere of glass that's refracting the light in such a way that you yourself are the one that's in the bubble. And this is a very off putting and strange and foreign visual effect to you, so it kind of gives you just a moment's pause, especially with all of the chems running through your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
no doubt.
but in this way, as you kind of look around, you realize that it seems to you like she is actually absorbing the ambient radiation right now. Okay? In
Right.
this entire local sphere. Um, with this, as you look closely at her, you can actually see that her skin is just ever so slightly just sizzling and kind of glinting with small little flares and arcs of light. And you wonder to yourself if maybe she is going to be hot to the touch or if maybe she's going to discharge some energy when you actually get a hold of her. Um,
Okay.
so this definitely goes through your mind. At this, you hear a loud crashing sound, and you look over and see that both of these epic figures have now kind of crashed into some of the surrounding debris and are kind of quasi buried for the moment as they both kind of start shifting and moving their way back up out of the debris that they just got buried under. You would guess that each one of them is going to emerge within just a few seconds, within probably 2 or 3 seconds. But for the time being, you would guess that you're actually completely hidden from sight. Um, okay, the monk points at her and quickly waves his hand back over his shoulder, indicating grab her and let's go.
Yeah.
And he steps forward between yourselves and their position in a defensive posture. Okay? At this, let's roll initiative.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to click on him, and I'm just going to use that initiative roll to track her up in the corner. And then I'm going to click
I don't see me. I see the monk. I see the monk. I see Pilgrim. I see Kali, and I see the Patriot. I do not see Ymir, so I can't click on him.
Okay. I had. Hmm. Did you see him when you first came onto the board?
No, I was looking for him, but I don't. Yeah, I didn't see him.
Okay. I am going to just drop another token. It might be because I copy and pasted it. Maybe it just didn't
Gotcha.
get a clean read.
Yeah.
So, Ymir, let's go ahead and.
Click on him. Profiles. Active.
Did that work?
Yeah, I see him here now. Yeah, when you dropped
That's
him, yeah,
that's hilarious. Now I don't see the new one, but it doesn't even matter. We're good.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I
Excellent.
do.
Excellent.
Uh, rolling initiative now.
Perfect. And
A
in the green sphere above your guy's token, does it say 149 or something else?
indeed. Yeah,
Perfect. Good.
149.
I'm good. All right. Nice roll. That is set, and we're just going to do his. Boom. Down and dirty. I won't even need a round tracker, so Ymir, you're up. What do you want to do?
Ymir follows the monk's cue because that's what I I was thinking as soon as you said that they crashed into the pile of junk. Ymir would have reacted almost instantly, even before the monk's cue to pick Pilgrim up and make his way back through the portal that was still open.
Okay. And with that, let me see. With that, you reappear right back in
Oh,
the portal room.
perfect.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump back over to the other.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Awesome map, by the way. Just
Oh,
want to say.
right on. Appreciate it, man.
Uh,
Okay. You guys hear us okay?
hello,
Welcome
hello.
back.
Excellent. Okay, guys. Ymir, I think because of what we just saw happen, I'm just going to drop fresh tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see your token that I just dropped in here now?
Let me check for you, sir. Yes, I can.
Okay. That's weird. I am going to.
And I can see all of my party members as well, plus Harmony.
You could see Harmony too. I think that's the problem. I think I need to refresh this. I don't think it's going to be a problem for you guys this time because of how this. I'm actually going to exit game and just refresh the browser, and I think it'll catch me back up. Here we go. Then launch game. Okay. There we go. Give it just a second to load here. Okay. Okay, Bear, how many of your guy do you see on here now?
One.
Okay. All right, that works. I am gonna drop one right here just so I have something for physical reference. If it's there, we go. I just want to make sure it's gonna let me there on this side of the recording. Perfect. So you come through the portal, and you guys are able to see him emerge. He has Pilgrim with him, and he is holding her in his arms. Now, as you picked her up, Ymir, there wasn't any sensation of burning or anything like that. You were a little worried about that or some energy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at all. Everything went totally fine. You come through taking pretty big strides, and as you do, you have the opportunity to do whatever you'd like. What would you care to do?
I would like to walk out of the portal about where I am right there, and Ymir slowly, with both of his arms, brings Pilgrim down as gently as he possibly can onto the ground in resting position, kind of flat on her back. And he is just knelt kind of beside her, sort of tending to her or watching over her.
Okay, excellent. All right, Ren, what are you doing?
Uh, well, me waiting to see when they came back through, I was ready to shut down the thing, but I'm not seeing the third person yet. So I will shout out to Ymir with the translator. I'm sorry, did you give his name, or is he just under? Do we call him the monk?
So far. You guys haven't really caught a name for him, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Though he is obviously monkish. So
Yeah. Where's the other? I'll call out.
okay.
Defending. Ymir calls back to him over the translator. Defending.
Okay, then I will push the button right away. To start the sequence right away to shut down the
Okay. All right, so the timer starts, and you've got about 15 seconds before that portal's going to slam shut. So, what is everybody doing during this time?
Ymir flips around facing the portal, readying his hammer just in case something comes through or decides to come through with potentially the monk. Though he thinks maybe the monk is sacrificing his life, but he's still going to stand ready regardless.
Okay. So you turn and face the portal. Does that? I have you right here on the board.
Yes, that's exactly where I want to be.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure. All right. So you ready yourself. You're fucking good to go.
Yep.
Akama, what are you doing?
I'll look at Harmony and make sure that she's good to go. And when she gives me the yes, I'm gonna, I guess, run to Ymir.
Okay. I wanted to be able to switch back and forth audio channels, but I wanted to let you guys know that in this intervening time, Harmony has basically come back to her senses and is now able to basically speak normally again and respond. She's also standing on her own and like ready to go, although not nearly at full strength, okay?
Yeah, I was confused 'cause I was talking to her the whole time. She said talking amongst each other, and I'm like, why is
See,
she not
man,
talking to me?
you had that taco early today, man. You fucked up your breath. She didn't want nothing to do with it. She didn't want anything to do with any of that. So
Then me and we started role playing, pretending we were her. We're like, "Hey, big boy!"
Picking her arm up and shaking it, like, hey.
I'm gonna need a copy of that recording. I definitely want that. All right, so
For research.
Dex reminded me we have to make a recording of that.
all right, so you guys are all set. Let's see, the countdown's going 15 seconds. Akama, you get over next to Ymir and you're in front of the portal. Is there anything you want to ready or anything like that?
I'm already in battle mode. I got everything I need equipped. I'm just in a battle posture.
Do you still have your fists of God? Your God fists?
Everything
On.
should still be active. I just don't know how much more time I have left on them.
You're good. I just wanted to make sure you hadn't. There was like you didn't want to be holding your knife. You want to have your like fists ready, right? Your
Oh yeah. Oh
okay.
yeah, big time.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, everything's set, and I think you still have. I want to make sure you've still got your armor intact.
Yeah, my armor's still on.
I don't think you've taken any damage. Right?
I did. I'm at 21.
Oh, is that okay? There we go. And you've got the tunic underneath. Okay. All right, excellent. So, as you guys are standing there waiting, the seconds tick by and are agonizing. The interior noises have pretty much all died off. The machinery all seems to be running as it should, and there's a surprising lack of any kind of background noise. Everything actually seems in the facility now relatively safe and unremarkable. Um, as you're waiting, you also notice that the overall atmosphere in here, it actually seems a little altered. You notice that the lighting has kicked up to a point where everything looks completely within specs, and you feel like other than what's happening with this situation in front of you, this place probably could be a pretty good example of a great learning opportunity for the surrounding community to advance themselves. If they could clean up the ambient radiation, this could be something that could advance the local community quite a bit. You guys prepare for the monk to come back out, and after about 10 seconds, you see the first flicker of the energy field. And for just a moment, it actually winks out. And then within a split second, poof, it's back. As it comes back, you see that now it's a little bit less opaque, and it seems just a bit transparent around the edges. As the next couple of seconds tick down, you notice that this effect starts happening increasingly and exponentially faster until at about 13 seconds, 14 seconds, it seems as though it may flicker out and not come back on at all.
Before it gets that low, can I shout out like, "Where is he?" Like, kind of frantically trying to figure out why he's not here yet.
You absolutely do.
I'm not going to do anything, but trying to work the system to see if there's a way I can keep it open longer if need be. I'm not going to hit anything to do that, but try to figure out if there's a way I can keep it open for a couple more seconds or restart the process if I need to do that, if there's a chance that he can make it through without letting the bad come through as well.
Okay. You begin investigating that, and you're hard pressed in the amount of time that you have.
Yes, I know. I mean, I started this at 15 seconds, and probably like 5 seconds in, I started being like, I should maybe start fucking around to see if I can hold this off if need be.
Let's do a computer programming skill check, and we're going to do a minus 25%.
So minus 25 modifier, or how do I do that?
So it should say, for modifier, you should be able to put in the minus symbol and then put in 25, I believe.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh God.
I don't know if that worked properly. I mean, I rolled a 59. I guess I
Yeah, yours is 40. Plus negative 25.
So that made it 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then why am I getting the exact number of 59? I don't know how that works. Okay, but either way, I mean, it says, I guess it worked right.
Yeah, your roll is 59 versus the 15.
Oh, so I needed to hit a 15. I see.
15 or lower.
Gotcha, because of the negative 25. That's what I was going for. That's what I understand. Okay. Well, I wasn't even close because that's a small number to hit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. So, Ymir, while we're waiting for time to actually progress, how was your time over there?
That's fine, but Ymir, methinks Ren is holding on too strongly to the memory of the monk.
Well, he knows nothing about what happened over there, so
Right.
he's thinking that.
Right.
We don't know this guy. Fuck him. No. You should just turn to fucking Harmony and be like, is it alright if I close the portal on your buddy?
Well, I would have done that after my roll, but I don't think I can even hold it open anyway because of my roll, so it doesn't matter.
You sort of just face rolled the keyboard like a fucking jacked up League of Legends player, and the whole shit is about to go haywire or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't attempting to do anything quite. I was trying to more see if there's something I could do, but I wasn't going to do anything because I don't want to let it through, even if it.
Yeah.
I'm about to eat some more soup. Yeah, buddy.
Sopa.
Sopa, sopa. Pan sopa style.
You muted? Because I see Harmony moving in.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to kind of manipulate some of these things. So Harmony comes around the edge of the booth, and as she does, she prepares to engage with her spear, but she's still kind of leaning on it heavily. And you guys see a faint flicker of greenish, murky energy, along with some kind of crimson, really dark and inky looking smoke starting to roll forth every time the portal is actually solid. Every time it blinks out, the little trails of energy and smoke seem to cut off, but everything coming through seems to be kind of coalescing. It These last like 2 seconds are basically everyone's attention is filled with the image of this smoke and energy coming through, and as it seems to come through, nothing else follows until the last split second. Now, in that last split second, you guys all notice that two very important things have happened, okay? You notice that first, the smoke and energy has seemed to coalesce and take on some kind of actual physical shape. Um, you also notice that all of you instantly start feeling a pretty strong overriding wave of nausea hit you and a singeing of your outer epidermis. Everyone's skin, whether it's in the case of Ymir, where yours just simply starts to itch a little bit, like when you were on the other side, or if it's the Atlantean in the group whose skin starts to actually physically burn a bit, and your guts almost feel like they're starting to liquefy partially. Not like it's killing you, but like you may like shit your pants and throw up because it's getting through that bad. And then down to the human, who has a more frail physiology. Even with everybody's protection enhanced through the hypo sprays, you, Ren, are starting to feel like your blood has ice in it. And
I'm behind this little thing of glass. No, I'm joking.
and you actually double over in your seat, and your arms instinctively go down around your torso and basically clutch at yourself because it sends a spasm of pain through you. Now, as this happens, you're not really seeing what's going on in front of you, so keep that in mind for right now. Okay, as the smoke coalesces, you guys see this figure step through the portal, okay? As it steps through the portal,
Oh, shit.
and its form merges together out of the constituent components, you notice several things. A comma, you see right away with your enhanced vision that there doesn't really appear to be any kind of magical component to whatever this thing is. Makes you wonder if it's even alive at all. You do notice that it radiates an intense aura of power, though. And whatever the aura is, whatever the source of it is, because living things really shouldn't have one, it is incredibly evil, incredibly chaotic. It also, something about it feels ancient as well, which doesn't really fit the extremely advanced technology motif that you're seeing, okay? And Ymir, you instantly recognize it from the other side. And Ren, after just a second of feeling this wave come over you, you're able to raise your head back up and you're able to see the image as well. You do notice as soon as it steps through that this wave that seems to go through all of you, it seems to wash over Harmony as she's trying to step forward to the front line. And as soon as this wave hits her, immediately you hear another kind of sizzling noise coming from her flesh again, and she instantly doubles back over, dropping her spear and clutching at her face and basically just holding herself, moaning in pain. All right. As this entity seems to survey the group before it, Pilgrim is still laying basically unconscious, not really responding to anything. In fact, you guys would say that she actually looks kind of catatonic. She's just laying basically stiff as a board and eyes open, staring forward without any outward sign of consciousness. You don't see anything about her field that you're familiar with. No outward manifestations whatsoever right now. This creature steps through. It takes a couple more steps forward. It doesn't look aggressive in any way. And as it steps forward into the room, it simply looks from side to side at each one of you in turn, taking only a split second. And then it simply seems to discorporate and turns into several motes of energy and light, which themselves seem to just literally float up and through the ceiling above you. And within just a maybe 5-6 seconds of it seeming to leave the vicinity of you guys, all of a sudden the wave of nausea, the discomfort, the irritation to your dermis, everything ceases, and you instantly all start feeling quite a bit better. What would everyone like to do?
I'm confused. How did this thing get through? Because you were at 14 seconds on the countdown before anything came through the portal.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to. Within the last couple of seconds, this thing basically turned into smoke and energy and came through each time the portal was open. And right before the portal snapped shut for the last time, everything that had come through to this side recorporated into that entity.
So this seeped in as like a mist or a gas, and then turned into that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then within just a few seconds, everybody was relatively stunned. Within
So the
just
portal
a
is
few
closed
seconds, it
then.
left. Correct. The portal is now closed.
But we just unleashed a walking, turning into mist, radioactive being onto this place.
As you guys look, the second thing that I referenced becomes apparent as you look over at where the portal was. Let me cut this. There we go. As you look over, you see a red-gloved, heroic arm, massive in girth and truly impressive in scope, cleanly severed just above the elbow. You can see the bone, the flesh, the viscera, and the muscle, cross-sectioned evenly as it seems the slice was made with surgical precision. It indeed is the arm of the one called the Patriot, and it appears that at the last instant he tried to also claim purchase through the portal, but was just a split second too late even with his enhanced speed. And so the only grisly reminder of the threat of the Patriot, for the time being at least, is this dark, dark trophy. Now, you guys are free to do as you wish. What's everyone doing?
I'll run over and check to see how everyone's doing and kind of get a read on Pilgrim, vital wise.
Okay.
So they were kind of catatonic, but from me not knowing what happened inside, and since they went in, see if they're still alive, if they're breathing, what the state of their condition is.
Okay. As you head over, you very quickly see that Pilgrim seems to be, her condition seems to be improving. Harmony as well seems to be getting better very, very quickly. It seems like Harmony was more affected by just her recent exposure to such high levels of radiation. It just basically stripped her of any resistance. So when this one came, it just floored her. For the most part, she's still recovered and is starting to already make her way to her feet.
Pilgrim is, but Harmony's still down.
No, that's Harmony.
Oh, okay.
Pilgrim herself, she now, instead of having a corpse like Rictus about her, she's starting to actually move of her own volition, and she starts sitting from a laying position up to a sitting position on her own. And as she does, she folds her legs in cross-legged, and she actually seems to kind of wrap her arms around herself, almost like she's trying to reacclimate to a strange condition that she's not familiar with. You're not sure exactly what that's about, but it's almost like she's been in cold water and she's trying to warm up, is your best kind of approximation. She looks around with those large alien eyes blinking strangely, but you guys all get the sense right away that she's actually fine. You would not guess that she's injured at all. Makama, you see that her aura actually looks completely fine, although a little elevated in terms of kind of like a danger response, you know, kind of sense about it. You could tell that something dramatic just happened to this individual, and they're still kind of, you know, a little amped up, but you can't believe that it's not higher than it is. Other than that, she looks pretty much like you've noticed her every time under the enhanced vision. Ymir. Let's see. That was him. Okay. Ymir, as you're As you're standing there, you see your faithful companion in a bloody pool, dragging himself through the doorway and into the room that you're currently in. His nose is elevated in the air, and every time he kind of waddles back and forth, kind of half dragging, half limping his way across the floor, he leaves big, just splotches of blood in strange patterns behind him. Um, Kind of paying homage to the effort and supreme willpower that it took for him to make it this far. You see his head is kind of lolling side to side and his tongue is hanging out. He looks perhaps the most intoxicated that you've ever seen him. And you would guess that the mushroom miraculously has helped your friend completely ignore pain that should be literally crippling to any living creature, and much like soldiers in the throes of much too high dose of morphine, he appears to have been able to perform impossible feats. He has overcome his great and tremendous fear of enclosed spaces and technology and has pulled himself down through the belly of this monstrous facility, again painting the floor all the way. And he now has found his companion safe, and lets out a low and weary howl of joy as he sees you once again whole and uncompromised. At this, he seems almost elated, like a small cub that just found its own honeycomb, and is about to dive in. And with this look of joy spreading across his great floppy visage, he lolls his head one more time in a semicircle and flops down onto the floor, apparently passing out. Now, you do see that he has already healed quite a bit, and you would guess that within the hour, he probably would be able to travel under his own steam, although at a very slow pace. This gives you a lot of encouragement because obviously he was quite wounded. All right. What are each of you doing?
Is Pilgrim reacting to Ymir at all? Is she looking at me? Is she?
At this point, she still seems like she's trying to recover in some fashion. You're not sure exactly how, but there, she's still taking a moment to gather herself.
But I asked this of Ren. Does Ren have kind of a puzzled look on his face right now, like he's wondering that what he just witnessed, or would he be curious about what Ymir saw?
Ren would be after the portal closed, after he tried to compute what the fuck just happened and came through and just disappeared, and a quick rundown of how that's gonna fuck things up possibly everywhere else. Then he runs over and starts inspecting that arm.
Okay. All right. So you want to get debriefed later? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I would just go to collect the arm so I could take it back to my lab at some point and try to preserve it as best as I can. I'm not
I get you.
void
I
of
get
anything
you.
going on
You,
around me.
you,
If
get
he
you.
started talking to me or trying to get my attention, I'd be aware of it. I'm just
Okay.
trying to like
So
collect things to have things,
let's go to so Ren, you head into the room to collect the arm. You do notice that the arm seems to still be spasming slightly, especially at the fingers. And you realize with the strength of the individual, it may be good to give it just another minute.
Yep,
Just
will
another
do.
minute. Akama, let's switch over to you. What are you doing as everything's happening here? You guys do see that Harmony is starting to run forward to where the portal was, and you see that she appears to have tears in her eyes, and her arms, she's taking really unsteady steps, but her arms are feebly held out like a child who's just lost a loved one, and she appears to be truly stricken by the fact that the monk did not come back through the portal. She's walking in a daze, really oblivious to what else is happening.
I walk up next to her and I put my hand on her back and kind of like pat it, so to say. Like it's okay.
I get you. At this, she pretty much collapses, and just kind of starts sobbing, and you could tell it's just kind of hit her that her companion's definitely gone. And you're realizing now that you couldn't really get a read on the relationship before because you guys really were never around many of these people for more than just a few moments at a time. But seeing this, you're understanding that they didn't just it's not that they were just kind of in the same mercenary core. They were part of a unit that they really relied on each other, and they were, they were as close as people can be. Not necessarily together or anything like that, but I mean, this was to her like a family member, definitely a loved one, and that also makes you wonder a little bit, each of you, because the purpose of you being here is to find a merc outfit that you actually want to become a part of. And again, the overriding theme so far is that there's going to be kind of like an open kind of job fair where you can apply to these different places. And so
we just made an opening. No.
So you guys are definitely keeping an eye on what the relationships are like between the members of these groups, because indeed this is going to be you at some point, with some of these people at least. So yeah, that strikes each of you that there was more than camaraderie here. It was a family. All right, I want to open it back up. What does anyone want to be doing?
Well, noticing Harmony's reaction, Ymir walks over very kind of somberly, gets down on one knee right next to her, and speaks to her, looks her direct in her eyes, kind of puts his giant finger underneath her chin so their eyes meet, and he looks at her.
Guys, hold on. Keep that in mind. I want everybody to see exactly what she's looking into. Okay? That's the face that this woman is looking up into. I just not exactly, but keep in mind that it is definitely a large, frightening figure. Okay, there's a 12-foot tall half.
And she's regular size, like she's like 5-6 feet, right?
Correct. So he's down on a knee, and it's like something out of the Labyrinth. Okay, that's all I want to focus on. So go ahead.
He puts his massive finger, kind of underneath her chin and gives her a look, one of somberness, but one of also respect and honor, and speaks very directly to her and says, "He fought and died bravely. He stood between us and the portal so I could get Pilgrim home. You should be proud."
Okay, and as you say this, she kind of, has one last sniff as she's crying, one last sniffle, and she kind of straightens herself upright and actually uses an armored gauntlet to kind of wipe away the tears, and just kind of straightens and steels herself once again. You see that she's been ravaged pretty bad by the effects of this radiation, and
I just keep picturing her like Crypt Keeper hair.
You see that this has all taken a lot of a toll out of this individual, but you also respect the fact that, your words reached her and she's ready to continue forward, understanding that she can't just fall apart. So as she kind of rejoins the group, you see that she's, going to be able to contribute to the conversation again. You guys see that Pilgrim seems to have shaken off most of the rest of the effects that she was suffering, and she starts getting herself to her feet, standing up under her own power. Everything still looks good within the facility. You're not picking up that any further problems occurred during the shutdown sequence. You would guess that you were able to save about 80% of the charge in the accelerator, which is plenty. That should last, you would estimate, that should last the town about 100 years, even if they start really building up, things like infrastructure and the population starts to double, triple, quadruple. They're going to be fine for a very, very long time.
Nice.
And everything should be stable. And more importantly, because you guys actually closed the portal, the radiation now is dropping dramatically on its own. This facility seems to have been constructed of materials that were able to not only dampen radiation, but actually absorb and mitigate it once exposure had happened. And so, in this way, this place is actually probably going to, quote unquote, clean itself of any extra rads really, really quickly. So essentially, you guys are all getting the sense that this is well, and Ren, you know this better than anyone. You understand the technical side of it, but you guys are understanding. You basically cut off the radiation thread, and you completely repaired the reactor that you were tasked to do. So this is a win. This is 100% a win, and you did a better job than you were even asked to do. So
Let's go eat.
Is there a way I can record the steps I did for this programming sequence? So, like in 100 years, the townspeople could possibly repeat this process, so they could open the portal to gain more power back to their device and then close it again themselves.
So
Is that asking a bit much?
So you head back over. Let's say that you.
That's me.
Oops, sorry. I would suggest that you cast Total Recall as part of this so that you'd be able to basically give instruction on it as well, because what you feel like you're probably going to do is make a copy on some kind of hard drive from within the system itself of the log of it, and then you feel like it'd be good for you to really remember with clarity every step of this because of how important the situation is. You know what I mean? And that it would actually help you record things better as well.
Sure. Yeah. I was just wondering if that's a possibility. I would cast that if that would be the step needed to be done, or.
Okay,
but...
you do that right away. That only takes a moment. So if you want to go ahead and cast that, you complete the task without any other kind of roll. And okay, Akama, what would you like to be doing?
I guess ask how's everybody doing. Everybody feeling better now? Can we go eat?
Pilgrim nods, Harmony nods, and Harmony right away steps over. She kind of stops taking support from everybody. She steps over next to Pilgrim and starts kind of, they both kind of start leaning on each other, and you can tell that it's more of an emotional kind of support. They're both fine now, but they're kind of consoling each other. They both turn and...
Can I try to get Harmony's attention, but without using anything like any verbal command? Just kind of make eye contact with her and hope that she makes eye contact with me briefly before she decides to do whatever she's about to do. Basically, I just kind of wanted to give her a nod, like if she does see me, make eye contact with her, put my head down, look towards the portal, and then just mouth "I'm sorry" to her.
Okay, you're
like,
able to
acknowledging,
catch her.
like, I'm sorry, I couldn't have done more to help, basically, type thing.
Okay, you're able to get her attention, and as you do, she acknowledges when you say this, essentially she closes her eyes and just bows her head for a second. You can tell she's kind of trying to process something really painful.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to make a big deal out of it and say like,
But-
"Hey, I'm sorry, Fred's dead."
Right. But as she looks back up at you, the look in her eyes, she gives you a quick and curt kind of nod where you can tell that she understands this is the nature of the profession, this is the nature of life in a hostile environment like this, and everybody did the best they could. This is how it goes. So she conveys all that with just a really brief, short nod, and you can tell that there's no hard feelings at all. I mean, she seems to understand that it wasn't you that had anything to do with it. So, all right.
I wasn't apologizing for that. I'm just sorry her friends did. I don't take blame.
No. I'm just saying.
No, I'm joking.
All right. So you guys are all pretty much set. Is there anything anyone wants to do in this facility before you start heading out?
Loot.
Yeah, I would want to go grab the arm once it's settled down, and I would want to go back to find that destroyed sphere, the drone, and salvage what parts I could from its fried little thing, so I could maybe reuse some of those if trying to reconstruct or construct a new one.
Okay. You do that. And Pilgrim. Here we go. Pilgrim starts heading out. So does. Dude, this thing got wonky quick.
Is Spiderbot still tweaking and jittering?
It's still twitching, but it's basically about done. It
Do I
doesn't
need
seem
to finish it on my way out? Because, I mean...
You don't really feel like it's going to
Okay.
require anything.
I might
so-
ask a comment to check that out as opposed to me going because I'm scared of
give
it.
it an honor death blow. Let's just say that. This one's not getting that.
Okay. All right, so everybody starts kind of filing out. Ymir, do you want to go ahead and just kind of half carry, half drag Wotek? He is definitely out of it.
Ymir wants to be free of this place while his companions are looking around for whatever salvage or whatever they're interested in. He is just ready to be free of this place. His brother went through a horrible battle. He's been to a quasi pocket dimension full of radiation. Yeah, he's just looking to get the hell out of here and taste fresh air. Even if it might be irradiated fucking wasteland air, at least it'll be fresher than this metal box he's in right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask Akama if he could search Spideybot to see if there's any type of like power core or any type
Hell
of.
to the fuck no. So you get fucking slashed.
Yeah.
You want to do me a favor real quick?
Yeah, bro, I got off to get that freaking chick chitin.
Exactly. Yeah, and made me
Yeah.
almost fight fucking giant crabs on a beach before we
But
even got
I
on the
didn't tell
trip.
you to go do that. I just said I was interested in. You're the one that ran forward like a fool and just grabbed
See,
it.
I wanted to be, I wanted to make sure I help
Yep.
out.
So I
but-
saw
Yep.
your enthusiasm, so I decided to ask again.
Yeah, and I said no.
Damn it.
All right, so as you rejoin Akama, there wasn't anything back there that you were wanting to do or
I
fuck
He
figured.
did say loot.
Did you say loot?
He did say
Yeah.
loot.
No, there's really nothing to find. It's all just machinery. Not
Did I find any
Alright.
pieces? Did I find any pieces from
you did. You
old-
found a few really basic components out of the destroyed one. And if you want to just go ahead and make a note of that. And as you get up to the spider bot, the halves of the spider bot and the small middle section, you notice that there does seem to be some kind of power core that's exposed, but as you look at it, it almost seems up by where the heart of a humanoid would typically be. As you look at it, it seems like whatever this technological component is, it's heavily enchanted in some way where there's a field of sickly reddish and black swirling inky energy kind of slowly rolling across the surface of whatever's underneath.
From my knowledge of magic, would I recognize this type of magic, like as necrotic or anything like that, or is it
Yes,
just?
you would definitely say that this is some kind of aspect of necromancy, but it's something you've never seen before. And you would definitely say that this could be extremely dangerous to tinker with. It may be that
Okay.
you could find something really useful, but it definitely, just the look of this thing makes you believe that it's probably heavily booby trapped. Because that's, I mean, almost, it's probably the second thing necromancers are known for is they're just really malicious, and that's
No, fair
exactly the
enough.
kind of thing they would do. So
Just like the portal earlier, my curiosity is spiked, but my self-preservation is stronger. So
Right on.
I'll be like,
All right, all right.
Can I break one of his legs, his sword leg, spider legs?
Yeah, yeah. If you want to, let's get
I
a
feel like
roll
I'm like
going.
Pee-wee when he keeps looking at those snakes when he's saving all the pets from the pet
Am I
store.
rolling?
Being like, I want to get to that, but I'm not gonna be like Pee-wee and eventually do it.
Let's. Okay. You notice that as you close in on one of them that's still kind of jerking around and stuff a little bit, you notice that this one in particular, it may be a little more safe because the tip of the blade itself has gotten lodged in the side of the wall. And because of that, the range of motion is really, really limited. You feel like as long as this thing doesn't jerk too hard, pull itself free, and take a swipe at you, you're probably going to be fine. Why don't we go ahead and roll just a straight 20-sided die? Why don't you roll a 20-sided and you need to get a 5 or above? Excellent. Okay,
Thank
you
God.
reach out with both hands and with your God hands on, you get a firm grip on both sides of the joint, so you're able to make sure that you have leverage on it. And as you do, you basically just get a firm grip and slowly start wrenching it loose at the base. Now, how much of the actual, arm do you want to grab a hold of and rip loose?
Let's just say I'm looking at the ones in the back. Get more just I guess where the knuckle is, where the actual sword comes out.
Down at the base where it attaches to the body, or you mean
No,
where so
high up.
up where the blade attaches to the first
Yeah.
knuckle? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just making sure. So this is mostly just going to be a blade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you get a firm grip on the blade itself and just below that first knuckle, with a couple of really strong, brisk tugs from your supernaturally strong frame, you're able to just wrench the metal loose, and the joint gives almost as easily as tissue paper once you're able to just apply some leverage. You get the blade loose. You can go ahead and make a note that you got that. You don't really know what it is, so you can make a note however you'd like. But definitely put that that's something you're carrying around. Now, the blade itself is actually pretty large. This thing was about 10 feet tall, and that blade is going to be about 4 feet, I'm going to say. So let's see. It's about 4 feet, including that kind of little bit of the knuckle that's left on it. And we're going to say that it weighs about 150 pounds. So, I mean, it's beefy.
How thick is this blade?
It's big. It looks like it could punch through fortified doors given enough time. Huge, huge.
Nice.
And you also see that you're not exactly sure of its metallurgic composition. It looks heavily enchanted, and the metal itself has a weird kind of bronze-like sheen, but it also looks like there's some kind of mystical effect at play as well. So you can't be sure exactly what kind of metal you're dealing with, which can have a lot to do with it. So
Gotcha.
all right. So you get this loose, and you start, we're going to say you basically just sling it over your shoulder and are holding the top part. And kind of carrying it along. Anybody want to do anything else as you're heading out?
I mean, you said there's not really much else to really look over, or research, or salvage.
Not much. You guys can, if anybody would like to make a roll, a perception check, I can definitely let you know if you are able to see anything.
I mean, I'm
So-
interested in seeing if anything